Hi everyone, this is the dispatch for Monday, June 1st. Yesterday was the day of Pentecost, which means we transition now today to a new season in the church year. Pentecost marks the end of the 50 days of Easter, and so now we begin what is called ordinary time. It's actually the longest single stretch of time in the church year. It's the time after Pentecost, and it will last us until Advent. It's going to be there are no special seasons in that length of time. Ordinary time is understood to be a time where we experience the gospel story, and the lectionary will travel through all different elements of Scripture, and in particular the ministry and the life of Jesus. So that is what we begin now. This coming Sunday will be Trinity Sunday. Usually when we change seasons, there's a special Sunday to mark that change. Trinity Sunday is coming up this Sunday. So our psalm today is Psalm 104, or part of it. It's a longer psalm. This is one of the great psalms about creation, about God as creator. And the thing to note here, which I think is intentionally tying us into Pentecost, is that it says, when you send forth your Spirit, they are created. That is, the creatures are created. And you renew the face of the ground. You renew the face of the ground. Christians have believed for a long time that God not only created, but that God upholds creation, that the Spirit of God maintains everything that is. And so we see a hint of that here in this psalm. For the Old Testament reading, we go to the prophet Joel. This is one of the minor prophets. We don't talk much about Joel. It's a message of hope for the people of Israel, but at the end of this message of hope, we get to what is certainly the most famous little section of this prophet. It says in part, I will pour out my Spirit on all flesh. Your young men will, or your children will dream dreams, or something like that, that all people, old and young, slave and free, will experience the Spirit of God. Again, that connects us directly to the story of what takes place on the day of Pentecost. It's important to note that in the Old Testament, the Spirit of God is poured out on kings. The Spirit of God is poured out on prophets, on significant, important figures. It's a remarkable thing for the prophet to say that one day the Spirit of God will be poured out on all flesh. That's a very remarkable thing indeed. So then we go to Romans chapter 8. Again, we were there last week. Here we are still talking about the Spirit of God. Paul is saying that the Spirit is for us the first fruits. It's the experience of salvation, of God present with us, but it's not complete yet, right? We're still eagerly anticipating the completion of God's work, but in the meantime we have the Spirit. And Paul also connects us to creation, saying that creation is groaning, is yearning for that completion. And just like we are, connecting us to everything that is around us, that God's work is concerned for all of it, that God's work will encompass not just our souls, but the earth and everything that is in it. That's all for today. Have a great day, and we will see you again tomorrow.